Hey guys, welcome to a look at video. Now this video I'm going to be taking a look at the Atari 400. Now I've actually owned this machine for I would say probably about maybe 6-7 years, and I'm ashamed to say I have never really used it. Now there's two reasons for that. One, the only way you can connect this thing up is through RF. Now, as you know, most modern TVs simply don't have that. They don't support it anymore. So it's not really ideal, but I've now got myself a little CRT TV and I've been able to get it tuned up. So yeah, we're going to give it a go. The second reason is, well, I was going to say I don't have any games. That's not technically true. I've only got a couple of games to let you see. But it's when I was going through all these boxes, I mean, I've got about 15 boxes in a cupboard full of stuff. And I thought, you know what, it is such an iconic machine, I've got to look at it. Now I've got quite a bit of history, fond memories of this machine, not this actual one, but you know, the Atari 400. As I've mentioned on multiple occasions, I really got to know about computers when there was a little computer shop opened up quite close to where I stayed. And you're talking early 80s. Now the guy was an Italian guy, a guy called Ray Agostini, and he was an Atari dealer. It was primarily Atari stuff that he dealt with. And me and my mates, we used to go up on a Saturday and we would literally hang about the computer shop and just quite literally stare with our jaws on the floor at all these wonderful machines. I mean, the first one I saw, you had an Atari 800, and I will do another look at an Atari 800. I did do a look at, well, maybe 3-4 years ago, but I think it's time to do a new one because it's such an awesome machine. The Atari 800, I think, came out about 1977, 78. I mean, they were really, really ahead of their time. They were expensive, but then computers were expensive because hardly anybody had them. So the Atari 800 came out, then they brought out this, I'm assuming that this one actually came out at the same time as the Atari 800, but this is basically a cut down version. I think it has only got, you know what, I'm not exactly sure. I think it might only have 16K of memory. If anybody knows differently, I mean, go and look at Wikipedia. This is not, believe you me, my channel is not about true facts. I'm just really speaking from nostalgia sake rather than actual factual, but I think it might have only had 16K of memory. Now the keyboard, you can hopefully you can see here, I'm trying to get the shadow out. It's not a proper keyboard, it's like a Spectrum. I mean, there is really no, I've seen a Spectrum, it's more like a ZX81. There is no movement in that at all. Nah, very, very, I don't know if you can hear that. Very, very slight. But it's a full, well, I'm saying it's a full size keyboard. It's maybe, I don't know, 4/5 size keyboard. I mean, it's fully functional. You've got shift, you've got control, all this, you've got a space bar. I'm interested to know what the Atari button is. Now the Commodore 64 had a Commodore button. Does anybody know what the Atari button does? It's interesting when you see kids walking about with Atari t-shirts. They have got no idea what Atari actually stands for. And also in this, you've got system reset, option, select, and start. Now if you press this, now unfortunately I have lost the spring that opens this up, so I've got to press it and then lift it. You've got space for a cartridge. Now this is solid lead or steel. I mean, it really is, seriously. What other computers have solid steel in them? Now what you can do is you can put a cartridge, and I just happen to have one here. Star Raiders, there you go. Now the reason it says left cartridge is because the Atari 800 actually has 2 ports. But I believe all the games and sort of utilities always went in the left cartridge. I'm not sure why, but because Atari only has the one, it just goes like so, pops in there. Now let's have a look at the front. Now this is talking about being ahead of its time. When you think of most computers, If you're lucky, you had 2 joystick ports. Spectrum didn't even have a joystick port. A lot of computers had 1. This bad boy didn't have 1, it had 4. There you go. Controller jacks, 4. It would be really interesting to see if there's any games that actually support 4 joysticks. So that was on the front. Round the side, you've got, I don't know what that's called, it's basically for a tape adapter, and I assume the disk drive as well. You've got on off, and you've got your power jack. Round the back, I'm not sure what that is. I've got no idea what that does. Does anybody know? We'll maybe try and switch it when it's switched on. Plenty of ventilation. Now sadly, when I got this machine, when it arrived, it was absolutely smashed to smithereens. The case was completely broken, and very luckily I managed to find a case on eBay for not very much money. Now this is a bit I love about these machines. There you go. That is what Atari is. Manufactured by Atari, Sunningvale, California. Valid only when operated pursuant to FCC Rules Part 15, covered by US patents. There you go, Atari. Model number Atari 400U. And it's got a serial number. Awesome. On the other side, there is nothing. Now, you can probably hear there is something. There's something inside this. I have opened it up, and for the life of me, I cannot get the thing out. It's kind of inside, and I thought, you know what? It's not affecting the actual use of this thing. So what we're going to do, we're going to power this bad boy up and see how the keyboard operates. Now, as you can see, unfortunately, because I'm using, it's a kind of catch-22, I can't plug this into a modern TV, and if I do, you physically can't get it tuned. And if you plug it into a CRT like this, it's the screen flickers, because obviously the refresh rate is different from the camera. But you can see there it comes up Atari computer memo pad, and let's see if the keyboard works. Maybe you can hear you do get a little beepy noise when you press the keyboard. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. MAME rocks. Now what we'll do is, so yeah, that's the keyboard. Pressing system reset, and it just puts it back to the memo pad. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch it off, and I've got a cartridge which is called, oh, I don't want assembler editor, I can't do stuff like that. Basic language, let's give that a go. Ugh. Right, I don't know if you're supposed to get these horrible lines on the screen. Hang on, let's apologies about the shaky cam, but you know what, there's no other way to do this. Right, try again. Right, okay, we've now got a ready command, so what we'll do, in fact I'll point that at the screen again. I know it's crap quality, guys, but I don't know any other way to do this. 10. I assume this is the same, this command works on any computer. Print MAME. Oh bugger, how do we go back? Break, we don't want to do break, where's the delete? There we go. Right, MAME, and then it's shift return 20, go to 10, return. Now let's just try list. There we go, and we'll try run. Ta-da! Still got it. Yeah, so that's the basic one, so let's switch this off. Now, I could show you the games running on an emulator, but you know what, it's just not really, it's not the same, is it? You can do that yourself. I want to let you see this thing for real. Now, the games I've got 3 games. I showed you that one earlier. I've got Star Raiders, which I've never played. I've got the Mighty Donkey Kong, and I've got Centipede. So let's go for Donkey Kong. Now, what I need to do is obviously plug in the joystick. Turn that up like so, and I assume it's going to be joystick port 1. And let's switch the bad boy on. There we go, Donkey Kong. I've got to say, the picture's not actually half bad. Right, this is going to be interesting. I'm going to try and play this using one hand and using my foot to hold the joystick, because I can't be arsed getting the tripod out. So press select for 2-player game, and I'm assuming you press start. There we go. What do you say? It's not a bad conversion actually. Ah, bugger. I mean, I'm trying to play it like that. Jump, joystick, and using my foot to hold the joystick in place. Ow, arse. But unfortunately, because obviously the Atari 800 had 64K memory, there's no, well, I mean, I think there's probably a lot of games for the Atari 400, but most companies supported that's going to come down. No, it's not. I'm going to be impressed if I can complete a level here playing it one-handed. Get in. Yeah, I think most software companies soon moved across to the larger memory of the 800. Interesting to see if all the levels are here. Now, can you jump and do the bouncy thing? Oh, arse, forgot to press the fire button. Game over. Right, that's Donkey Kong. We'll switch off and we'll give... I'm not going to play... Well, yeah, you know what? Let's try Star Raiders. We can't not try it. So again, open that, and I should really have set up the tripod thing for this, but hey ho. Right, Star Raiders. Now I know this is one of Jeff Minter's favourite games. This was one of the earliest games. This was one of the games that really got Jeff Minter into programming. Now I have no idea how to play it. Start, novice mission. I've got to say that is actually quite funky for a 16K machine, for a machine that came out in before 1980. Right, I have no idea what I'm actually trying to do. I'm assuming I'm trying to fly somewhere. I'll try and keep the not the joystick. I'll try and keep the camera steady if I can. It's very, very simplistic, but you know what? It works really well. Right, you know what? I don't know what I'm doing with this game, so let's we'll try Centipede. So power it off, open up, and where's Centipede? But I love having this. I absolutely adore having these original machines. Yeah, like I said, you can easily fire up an emulator on the PC, but it's just not the same. Alright, press start. Press select, start to play. Again, I'm having to play this one-handed, holding the joystick with my foot. Kill Lefley. not bad conversion, mind you, it is an Atari game, so you would expect nothing less. Interesting fact, Centipede was actually written by a girl. Oh, don't die. I might have to look and see if I can get some more of the Atari cartridges, because they are pretty funky. They really give me more games to play in this thing. Now unfortunately, I've got a cartridge for my Atari 800, but it will not physically fit. That's Centipede, by the way. It will not physically fit. Ah, right, so that switches off. That's interesting. It will not physically fit in that. Alright, so when you close that, it just resets again. So anyway guys, listen, that is the Atari 400. Like I says, it's quite a clunky machine. It's not got the best keyboard in the world. It's only got 16K memory, I think. Games are pretty limited, but you know what? This was one of the pioneers of the industry. I'm sure if it wasn't for these machines existing, we wouldn't have had the Spectrum, we probably wouldn't have had the Commodore 64. I mean, Atari really did kick off the whole computer industry. I love this. I mean, it's part of history. You know, these machines are, I'm not going to say they're like hen's teeth, but they're pretty rare, they're pretty hard to come by, and I was actually very lucky. I bought the Atari 800 and I got this with it. I think I got them both for about 100 quid, an absolute steal. Sorry, there's one little thing I've not shown you, and it's the tape. It's a tape thing. Now, I'm not even going to attempt to load a game in this thing. I do believe that tape games, I have got a few tape games, I don't know if they'll work. Let me just move them across here. This one is Vegas Jackpot. Now it does say Atari 400. Now one thing is it got, oh, it's not too bad actually. I remember the pre-turbo loaders. I mean, the games literally I think took about 15 minutes to load in Atari. I'm not going to attempt to load a game. Or should I? Hang on, let me Google it. Back in a tick. Right, apparently to load a tape, I've just been trying to do it, but I still had the cartridge in, which probably didn't help. It says here, loading instructions, press play on cassette recorder, hold down start button while switching machine on, then press return. So let's press play, and then what we'll do is, I'll need to put the camera down for a second. Switch on like so, and then press return. Ain't doing anything. I notice when you waggle that about, it's making a bit of a noise. So I don't think the cassette thing is working properly. Mind you, it is about 30 years old. Anyway, listen, we'll not bother with that. Chances are the ribbon's probably, not the ribbon, the rubber band thing's probably completely worn away in it. But anyway, listen guys, that is it. That is Atari 400. Like I say, it's a piece of history. You know, it might not look much like much now, but you know, Atari was fundamental in getting this whole wonderful industry of ours up and running. So anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed watching the video. If there's any comments, please put them down below. And as always, thank you very much for watching.